I can't imagine that any of these students lay awake at night and are frightened or dismayed over the fact that they're going to be coming to Robert E. Lee High School the next morning.
To walk into a school that is named after a man who enslaved people that looks like the majority of the school's student body.
You know for a fact it's racist, and the people who originally made it did it to mock you. So it's just kind of like a constant laughter. I'm the circus act that everybody's laughing at, and I don't think that's okay.
It's a local battle born out of the Civil War that's making headlines nationally.
Name changes for 9 schools in Jacksonville, 6 of them honoring Confederate Army generals, preserving a legacy that intended to rob Black people of their freedom. In an atmosphere finally ripe for change after the murder of George Floyd, Mayor Lenny Curry began the removal of Confederate monuments, and Duval School Board member Warren Jones made a request to rename these schools. The school board passed the vote unanimously. Former member Ashley Smith Juarez followed with a motion to change the names for 3 other schools honoring men who terrorized Native Americans. That vote passed 6-1 with board member Darrell Willey opposing. The next part of the process for renaming a school is collecting community feedback with at least 3 public meetings at each school.
This issue is about Southern heritage.
I've not been here in 40 years, and I still live in Jacksonville. How many of you were born and raised in Jacksonville? A lot. How many of you grew up in this area? Good. Don't change the name.
This is the current generation school.
Being the only Black English teacher for 5 years was a very traumatic experience for me.
I'm the great-great-grandson of a Confederate soldier.
Basically, I've been attending schools under a Confederate name for the past 7 years, which is more than half of my school career.
It's triggering, to keep putting slavery in front of them.
If this high school is having problems, how long has it been predominantly African American?
One of my best memories is Sunday dinner after church. We had some good conversations around that table, lots of laughter, lots of jokes. And some of those jokes were about watermelon and about jungle music and big lips.
And this is just a new way for them to, instead of doing it physically, they do it mentally. And they try and get in our minds and make us the laughing stock of society still.
So I know all about Southern heritage. I know about those conversations when it's just us. I know about that uncle who's so racist, he's probably been part of a lynch mob. I know about Southern heritage, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So when you get up here and come with some BS reason to defend a man who owned people like they were livestock, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And they need to get over it, and you need to leave the name of Robert E. Lee High School, Robert E. Lee.
The time in which the school was named in 1928 was marked by racial terror lynchings. Through the Community Remembrance Project, 904 would hold soil collection ceremonies honoring people who were killed by mobs, their bodies put on display for fear and intimidation. It's a chance to acknowledge history with intention for reconciliation.
It's when one of our local judges, or current judges, who's currently on the bench, when it was her turn to put soil from the ground into the jar, she not only scooped, she didn't use the scooper to put the soil in the jar. She literally took her hands and rubbed it in the soil for, quite a few seconds, and because she really wanted to feel, and I believe that what she was doing was connecting to that man, or those men that were lynched in that spot.
And we had 2 seniors, 2 elders in our community, one white and one African American. And they walked up together to scoop soil from the ground and put it in the jar that we had. And I started crying. It was like, this is what this is about.
A choice of whom we honor, and now a vote. Following public meetings, school advisory committees create a ballot. The supervisor of elections handles the process with polling sites at each school. As of April 27th, voting has ended at the following schools, but you can still write your school board member about them. Voting is open now for Robert E. Lee, Andrew Jackson, and Jean Ribault Middle and High during school days from 10 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. through May 7th. Eligible voters include students, faculty and staff, school advisory council, PTA or PTSA, community members within the school's attendance zone or alumni. School Superintendent Dr. Diana Green will consider all votes and feedback and make a recommendation to the school board. The board will make the final decision in a meeting on June 1st. We've arrived at a moment where our choice of a word can preserve slavery or grant freedom.
Words are they are birthed from my soul personally, and it's a way of healing yourself and also offering that healing process to others. When you're true about how you feel and you're transparent about it, and when you're intentional about using specific words, it just offers that same type of emotion to others, whether it's a positive or negative emotions. If you can feel what someone else is feeling, that's just a different type of connection through using words.
So to some people, the name change might be small, but if you're not even willing to do the work for something that some may consider small, then when something bigger arises,